week on the Island Times News Update, Neptune Beach narrows its city manager candidates to 4. In Atlantic Beach, businesses get a reprieve from a sign ordinance deadline, and the National Hurricane Center forecasts a below-normal season. Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. Neptune Beach has narrowed its list of candidates for city manager to 4. At a special workshop meeting Tuesday night, the council pared down a list of 10 candidates identified by City Attorney Patrick Krachowski as the best qualified of the over 100 applicants for the job to a list of 4 names. Those candidates are Andrew E. Hyatt, city manager of the East Ridge, Tennessee; Michael W. Doss, city administrator of Buchanan, West Virginia; James D. Drum, former city manager of Zephyr Hills, Florida; and Amanda Askew, community development director in the city of Neptune Beach. Askew had been ranked 8th on the list of candidates by City Attorney Krachowski, but she was in the top 2 selected by both Councilor Scott Wiley and Kara Tucker, which earned her an opportunity to be interviewed. The candidates will be invited to travel to Neptune Beach for interviews on June 11th. After their interviews, a special meeting will be held in which the candidates will be asked to make a brief presentation to the council and answer questions from both the council members and the public. City Attorney Krachowski said the council should have finalized what they want in the contract before that date,
including the salary number, all the benefits, any reimbursements for relocation, car allowance, all of those details. We want, from a negotiating position, to be final so that we can present the contract to the candidate and say, this is our offer. And a candidate may have counter, and I'll address that, accordingly.
The 3 candidates who will be traveling to Neptune Beach will be reimbursed for their mileage and be offered a $200 stipend for lodging while they're here. At the end of the June 11th meeting, the council will vote to select the top candidate for the job, and Krachowski will begin negotiations with that candidate. The Atlantic Beach City Commission on Tuesday took a first vote on a change to its sign ordinance that would remove the hard deadline for businesses to convert their signs from pole or tall monument signs to low monument signs. The city sign code passed over a decade ago required that all non-conforming signs be brought into compliance by January 1st, 2015. In December of last year, that deadline was changed to June 1st, 2015, and that decision was made after Neptune Beach passed a similar change to their sign code. The change would mean that non-conforming signs will be allowed to remain in place until they come into compliance naturally or when certain other conditions are met. While some members of the commission talked about the broader issue, City Attorney Rich Commando reminded the panel that the current motion was only to remove the sunset date from the ordinance.
This ordinance only deals with the provision that non-conforming signs come into compliance by a particular date. You can always request, or there can always be a future ordinance that modifies the transition triggers that you're describing.
Commissioner Jimmy Hill wants to have that discussion at a future meeting, saying that the existing sign ordinance does not reflect current community standards, and there are safety concerns as well.
The one thing that was definitely identified when we all went out and looked at signs is that we create more problems than we solve with the memorial style. In our community, the way it's laid out, it's a line of sight issue. Everywhere you look at a pole now, you're going to be looking at a wall that's down on the ground 4 or 5 foot high. I don't want to force those into existence knowing that they're a problem, and this sort of does that. If one business fails, and there aren't that many signs, literally if you count, there's a couple hundred, something like, I don't remember the total number, but businesses cycle pretty regularly. We could have a bunch of memorial signs while we're tinkering with this, trying to get it right, and safety was the bigger issue there, I thought.
Hill will likely put the broader sign ordinance on an agenda for discussion purposes in June, but it's not known if there will be consensus to reopen the ordinance for wholesale changes. A more controversial discussion at Tuesday night's Atlantic Beach Commission meeting dealt with a proposal by Mayor Carolyn Woods to establish a Seaside Community Council to advise the Commission on coastal issues. Woods proposed an 8-member council that includes academics from local colleges and universities, as well as a student liaison from Mayport Coastal Sciences Middle School. In a document attached to the City Commission agenda, Woods said that her reason for proposing the council has to do in part with climate change, saying that there has been general acceptance of changing weather patterns that have already led to more intense storms, more frequent flooding, greater storm surge, erosion, and sea level rise along the eastern U.S. She said the proposed council is an effort to be proactive in planning for the future should the community be affected.
It is widely accepted that there is constant and steady climate change.
This is true.
And we are being immediately affected by it. We as a community have 2 shores that are going to be affected greatly. When you have a team of concerned citizens and the educational system working together to find solutions, I think they can be a lot more effective than a few of us sitting here.
But that issue did not sit well with some on the commission. Commissioner Jimmy Hill challenged the premise that climate change would cause a significant rise in sea level.
The fallacy of sea rise.
If you think it's a fallacy, you go down south and look at what they're doing.
It's a fallacy. The science behind it, listen, let's talk about it for 2 seconds. It's worth talking about because this is a national issue, an international issue actually, that needs to be talked about.
It's a local issue.
The physics of sea rise are a myth. And if you can't understand it, go back to 3rd grade science, melt all the ice you want, salt or fresh water. The amount of displacement is negligible. All the ice caps could melt. It would kill us all for other reasons, but that's not the reason that it would do it. Since 1979, in 2005, the polar ice caps rescinded, and since then they're back 5% above the average in 1979. They're not melting. So it bothers me when our city makes a policy or an adjustment back towards an issue when we haven't done science.
Commissioner Maria Marks supported the formation of the council, saying the body would not cost the city anything in staff time or resources and could be a resource for elected officials.
The world does not revolve around Atlantic Beach, but they are able to look beyond that, and my idea is that they will address the problems and they will bring possible solutions for the commission to discuss and implement at some future point or not.
Commissioner Jonathan Doherty, however, said that was one of his primary concerns.
What I'm worried about is future commissions. This committee that's being formed with really no heavily defined purpose. Future commissions feeling like they have to do something because this committee came and told them they had to do something. That's my biggest concern about this. If this group wants to form on their own and meet and do their own thing and come every once in a while and give a presentation or send us an email or a video, that would be great. I would encourage it. I would actually like to go to some of the meetings and hear what they have to say. But if it's something that takes away our staff time or if it puts a liability on future commissions, I worry about too much government.
Mayor Woods originally wanted to have the ordinance on the agenda on June 8th, but Commissioner Hill said he wanted time to meet with City Attorney Rich Commando and suggest changes to the ordinance before a first vote is taken. The ordinance will be on the agenda for a first reading on June 22nd. Well, when we come back, the National Hurricane Center says we can expect another quieter than normal hurricane season. This is the Island Times News Update.
Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. NOAA's Climate Prediction Center says the 2015 Atlantic hurricane season will likely be below normal, but that's no reason to believe coastal areas will have it easy. For the hurricane season, which officially runs from June 1st to November 30th, NOAA is predicting a 70% likelihood of 6 to 11 named tropical storms, of which 3 to 6 could become hurricanes, and possibly 2 become major hurricanes. Dr. Jerry Bell, lead seasonal hurricane forecaster with NOAA's Climate Prediction Center, said a strong El Niño already in place is the principal reason for the below-normal forecast. He said El Niño may also intensify as the season progresses and is expected to have its greatest influence during the peak months of the season. Sea surface temperatures in the tropical Atlantic are also expected to be closer to normal, and warmer waters support storm development. The National Hurricane Center will be experimenting this season with a new graphic online that introduces the concept of a watch or warning specific to storm surge. Even a quiet season can be devastating. In 1992, there were only 7 named storms, one of which was Andrew, the first storm of the season, which caused widespread destruction in South Florida. Artist Enrique Mora will conduct a gallery tour of his artwork that is currently on display at the Beaches Museum and History Park on Saturday, June 6th. The hour-long tour will begin at 11 o'clock in the museum lobby. Mora will talk about his art and some of the stories behind the works. The tour is a free event, but a $5 donation to support the Beaches Museum and its programs is encouraged. Mora's work will be on display through June 30th at the museum. The Jacksonville Beach Police Department, along with the American Legion and Florida Fish and Wildlife, will hold their annual fishing rodeo on Saturday, June 6th. The event will be held from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. at Huguenot Park on 3rd Street at 19th Avenue South, and will feature fishing lessons for kids under 15, hot dogs and hamburgers, a Dunk the Cop dunk tank, and drawings for prizes and gifts. Neptune Beach is offering a decorative license plate to anyone making a donation of $20 or more to the Ish Brandt Beautification Committee. If a buyer signs the form with their name, address, and phone number, the $20 gift will be matched by a sponsor also going to the IBBC. You can find the forms online on the Neptune Beach website or visit City Hall to get your plate. And the First Street Gallery in Beaches Town Center is hosting its 13th annual Sea Turtle Show through July the 6th, with an opening reception May 29th at 7 p.m. National, regional, and local First Street Gallery artists create sea turtle-themed artwork in clay, jewelry, paintings, photography, metal, and glass. A portion of the sales generated from the event will be donated to the Beaches Sea Turtle Patrol. During sea turtle nesting season, May through November, patrol volunteers walk the beach monitoring sea turtle tracks, nests, and hatchlings, and they rely solely on private donations. First Street Gallery is one of their largest yearly fundraisers, with last year's show bringing in over $600 for the patrol. Well, the National Weather Service says there's a chance of thunderstorms over the weekend, with the best chance of rain on Saturday, then a daily chance of showers and thunderstorms through most of the week next week, with highs in the mid-80s and lows in the mid-70s. The Island Times is always digital, always free at www.theislandtimes.com. Become a subscriber and get updates on news from the Beaches communities delivered right to your email box. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.